This is just a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog, so let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all. All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It's like you can hear it all throughout the store. This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, next story up. So I don't know why everybody is so surprised about this TikTok ban that is currently in process and the countdown is going. I don't know why because I told you guys this, okay? I told you guys this in the top of the blog not even that long ago. And many of you guys were in the comments like, oh, it still has to go through Congress, and all this. And I was just like, listen, Congress is going to pass that damn bill. Or that law, whatever it is, all right? Because this is one issue that both the Democrats and the Republicans agree on, all right? And your President Biden had already said that if it makes it to his desk, he was going to sign it. So I had already told you guys and warned you guys that it was coming. But now that the thing did indeed make it to Biden's desk and that he did indeed sign it, and now the countdown does happen, because remember they said that they had 6 months to sell TikTok to an American owner, or else they were going to ban TikTok here in the United States. So now that 6-month countdown has begun, now that President Biden has signed it. Yeah, the people are very upset about it. I mean, if I was a content creator on TikTok, I would be very upset about it as well. Many people make their livelihood on TikTok. So I have 100% sympathy for them. I am so sorry that is happening. There is a big fight for it to stay. I mean, I'm sure the Chinese do not want this to happen as well. The Chinese owners, I should say, do not want this to happen as well. And not because they're being accused of sharing American information to, the enemy, but also I'm sure that they make a lot of money from us. It's 170 million users, TikTok users here in the US. So it was funny to see the CEO of TikTok, the Asian guy, the Chinese man that got on and was just like, they're going to continue to fight for our rights, the United States people, rights to TikTok, in court. Don't worry about it, we got your back kind of thing. I thought that was quite ironic, considering that, the Chinese government is not really for the U.S., but it was interesting that he's so concerned to fight for the U.S. Citizens' rights, just something to stay abreast and, just something to be aware of. But yeah, there is going to be a big fight, because there's a lot of people that are going to be affected by this, and I'm glad that I never got onto TikTok, so it doesn't feel like I'm going to be missing anything. But yeah, I do have sympathy for the people that are going to lose. A lot of people that really do rely on TikTok. And TikTok is a great app. I mean, the things that people send me, and when I look at it, I do laugh, and there's a lot of creativity on TikTok and all. It's a shame that maybe the U.S. should have never let something from a foreign entity even get this big. But I think TikTok just blew up when the pandemic happened and everybody was, being extra creative on social media. Like, the TikTok stuff just happened right at the right time. It was all about the timing. But maybe it is part of the U.S.'s fault. Like, you guys was not watching. You left the back door open and you let them come on in here, and then they established this great big company, and now you got your own people wanting to stay with an app that is Chinese based and could very well be dangerous. But it's just sort of like, well, I mean, y'all did it, so now everybody got a problem. But I guess what I would say is, if people do have their stuff over on TikTok, they're going to have to start, parlaying and moving that over. And I know that is going to be an extremely hard feat for a lot of people. People have millions and millions of followers over there. And, sometimes when you try to be changing platforms and everything, your followers don't always come with you. So, they're going to lose people, lose money. People are money, okay? Views are money. And so, once you start losing that, yeah, It's terrible. My prayers are up. I just hope it works out for everybody, child. I don't even know what to say about it, but it looks like the government is serious. It's about to happen. 6 months, it will not be here if they don't get that sold over. You know, now they're going to try to fight it in court, so that might drag it out. But like I said, people may start wanting to start moving their things over just to be safe. Okay. Yeah, too bad, you guys. So, next story. All right, you guys, next story up, we're going to send up a rest in peace to Mandisa. Mandisa is the American Idol contestant who was like part of the top 10 in season 5. This was back when I used to watch American Idol. And, you know, she was the powerhouse voice and everybody really liked her. But I had pretty much forgotten about her. Apparently she had gone on after she was on American Idol. She became a Christian, like a gospel singer, and she even won a Grammy. They say that in 2007, I believe it was, that she ended up winning a Grammy for her gospel album. It was called Overcomer. She won Best Contemporary Christian Music Album. And yeah, you guys, she has been living her life. Apparently she was from California, but she ended up moving to Franklin, Tennessee, and that's where she was found. Her body was found on April 18th. So there's an investigation that's going on, but the police out there have already said that they don't believe that there was any foul play. Very, very sad. Okay, she has been out there. She's been working. You guys have said that she had 5 full albums, and she had a Christmas LP, and even wrote a book, a memoir that was called Out of the Dark, My Journey Through the Shadows to Find God's Joy. That was just released 2 years ago. So, I mean, she has still been out there actively working and all. Like I said, I didn't realize that I had forgotten all about Mandisa. But of course, once I saw on the news that she had passed, and I was actually watching Good Morning America, and Robin Roberts was so upset and emotional. You know, it was just obvious that a lot of people were emotional about her death and commenting about it. You know, she did make her mark. Very, very sad. 47 years old, you guys, is so young. When I was reading, I don't know, I forgot to get if she was married. I don't believe that she was, and I don't believe she had any children, but I don't know that for a fact, you guys. If I did find out anything else about that, I'll put that on the screen here. But yeah, you guys, rest in peace to Mandisa. Now, I did say that I was going to talk to you guys about the Drake and Kanye beef and all. You guys, really, I'm beefed out. I am beefed out. I don't have the energy. I don't feel like it no more. Okay? Because that whole Chris and Quavo situation was so much for my brain, child, that it wasn't that hard to understand, because it's just about what Quavo says about bitches and hoes, right? I mean, I know bitches and hoes 101, child. The Drake and Kanye beef, because I don't even really know where it started 100%, I just don't. Y'all gonna have to go check up on that. What I will talk about, though, is Kanye and the things that he says. Now, when Kanye is in this mode, you know, this is the mode that I prefer not to deal with Kanye. I don't know if he is in his manic state, but you know, Kanye, it's nothing really worse than somebody who has bipolarism, who also is narcissistic, which actually might be a trait, one of the traits of bipolarism. Narcissistic, love and attention and all of that, you know, that comes with the disease. But is that considered a disease? A mental illness? Yeah, yeah. But anyway, when he's like this, he just says whatever, because he likes the shock and the awe, and he likes the attention. And I just prefer not to give it to him. So he was on that interview. Remember, I was telling you guys he was on an interview. It was that Justin, what is it, LaBoy, or is it LA Boy? Justin LaBoy, or whatever. He was on his show. And he was saying a plethora of many things. But just listening to Kanye, I just be like, Kanye, I just can't. You know, I just don't have the energy. I'm so tired of Kanye and his naked wife walking around with no fucking shoes on. Okay, when she step on a fucking nail and gotta get the damn shot and gangrene get to setting in on that foot, then I know something. It's just like, what is going on? it's just always some sort of spectacle around him, and it's just so tiring. I prefer to just listen to Kanye's music and keep it moving. And I'm talking about old Kanye, y'all know. As far as the conversation that he had, or the when he said about the threesome with Michelle Obama, I mean, you know, Kanye West does not like the Obamas. He hasn't liked them since Barack Obama called him a bit of an idiot, okay? And he has held grudges ever since. And so he says things, very disrespectful things about them every now and then, and it's not even that surprising. Now, I hate that he talks about my forever first lady like that, but I bet you even Michelle Obama don't care. She don't think about that shit, y'all. And side note, did you guys see that video of Michelle Obama when she went to Target and she was undercover and nobody could see her? Well, not nobody could see her, but she was there, but nobody noticed that she was Michelle Obama because she didn't have her whole security detail. I'm sure she had her security with her, but you know, they weren't so obvious and all. And she was able to walk freely through the store, signed a few of her books and left them up there for somebody to, you know, to buy, and even checked out, purchased her stuff and everything, and nobody ever saw. So, you know, I like Michelle Obama because she just seems like she's a down-to-earth, cool girl. Like, I feel like we could have been friends, okay? But, yeah, so anyway, getting back to what I was saying. Kanye is just going to be Kanye just Kanyeing, okay? And when he's like this, I just have to let him do whatever he's doing over there. He ain't fixing to work my nerves and run my pressure. Y'all tell me about the damn. Hey, who was that gave you did also comment in the last video who had broke down the beef between all of Rick Ross and Drake and K Dot and oh boy, up in North Carolina, like all them. Maybe you know the information on Drake and Kanye, and maybe you can explain that for us, okay? I got all these correspondents, you guys, that help me out. Anyway, you guys, next topic. So they say that Shirley Strawberry's ex-husband has been hit with a federal RICO charge, you guys. And that Shirley Strawberry has finally filed for divorce. Now, she told us back in September of last year, when the shit hit the fan, and everybody started finding out about all of his dirt and shit, and then he was trying to drag Steve Harvey and Marjorie in it, and all that happened at the same time when Shirley Strawberry was on the phone talking to him, her husband at the time, while he was in jail, and they was talking about Marjorie and how mean she is, and how, you know, Steve wasn't allowed to take them around the house, but when Marjorie wasn't there, you know, Steve gave him a tour of the house, and how she had all these different rooms and all this nice stuff. It wasn't necessarily her talking too bad about her, other than her saying that, you know, Marjorie is the one that wears the pants in that fucking house. But she, well, not necessarily wears the pants, but, you know, Marjorie rules with a swift, heavy hand, right? And, I mean, and that shit. I know women don't want you just walking all around their house when they not there. So, I mean, I get it, you know. But anyway, all of that was going on. She got embarrassed and had to apologize to Steve and Marjorie online and everything. And then that's when we also found out about her husband being in jail, and, you know, him, all of the fraudulent shit that he had been doing out here in Georgia, and how she was trying to stick with him and all of that. But then she decided, I guess, that she was getting a divorce, but maybe she didn't really file the paperwork until he was finally about to get hit with this RICO charge. I mean, she did it days before he was hit with the RICO charge, so maybe the investigators or the agents had kind of dropped her a line and was like, girl, you better get away from this man, because you're gonna get pulled in it with him. Okay, now I don't even know what's the, like, they were always saying that, sorry, I was getting an email. They were always saying that he was married to Shirley Strawberry, but also that he was married to another woman and all that. I didn't look that information up, but there was always talk that he was married to maybe even 2 other women or some shit. You guys, I don't know. But if that was the case, him and Shirley Strawberry, her being the possibly the 3rd wife, I would think that would make their marriage null and void. So that must mean that he wasn't really married to these other women. But that was the talk as well, that he was married to somebody and they hadn't got a divorce, and then he was with somebody else, you know, so he's like a serial polygamist, which is not legal here in the United States. So yeah, Shirley finally went on and signed the paperwork and submitted it into the courts. And probably no love lost there. I mean, he was been nothing but an embarrassment to her. And I'm sure she probably would rather cut that string than dealing with it. I hope that the Harveys don't get pulled into it, because apparently he was living at Steve Harvey's or staying at his place in Dubai for some time or something like that, child, whatever it is. But yeah, she did finally file a divorce. So her and Mr. Nesto, they will not be together much longer. What do I say? Congratulations to Shirley. Listen, just live out your days, you know, enjoying your life by yourself. Sometimes you just need to just not be with somebody. Sometimes that is just gonna be more peaceful for you. And you know, I always tell you guys, once you get to this age, bitch, that's all you want is some fucking peace. Okay? So it's okay, Shirley. You know, you win some, you lose some. All right, next story. All right, you guys, right before I was about to come out here and do this video, we got word from New York's highest court of appeals that they overturned the 2020 conviction of felony sex crime charges on, what is the man's name, child? What is his name? Harvey Weinstein. And that they are now going to be requesting like a new trial for him. So the judge in the New York Court of Appeal, well, actually it was a vote of 4-3, and they're saying that the judge in the first trial was erroneously admitting testimony of uncharged prior sexual acts against persons that weren't even in this trial that they were dealing with at that time. And they said that the testimony that was allowed into the trial at that time was from, you know, people that hadn't even pressed charges against, you know, or filed any paperwork on Weinstein. So it was just sort of like the judge was like, that information should have never even been brought in. That judge allowed it because the judge was prejudiced against Weinstein. So now that judge is saying all that shit needs to be thrown out, and they need to just start all the way over and have a new trial. So while this is a victory for Harvey Weinstein's team or whatever, it still doesn't mean that he's automatically out of jail. First of all, he's in jail in New York, and he was found guilty in Los Angeles. They're gonna have to work out all the logistics and all of this, and go back to LA to get him retried. And I don't know if they are going to let him out. He's 72 years old. And didn't they tell us that he had cancer or something like that? Didn't they tell us that he was ill? I don't think that he is in the best of health. And he didn't look like he was in the best of health, hell, almost all his life. So he might just look like that, child. That's stupid to say. So yeah, you know, I don't know if they're going to let him out, but his lawyers are happy. They're saying that this is a win, but it's not like the overall win. Okay, so they still got to go back to court. And I believe that even when they have the second trial, he's still going to be found guilty. Because even the women that was involved in this first case, I mean, if they have a convincing enough proof and story, you know, I think that it'll happen the same way for him. But he was in jail. He's been serving his 23-year sentence. And we hadn't heard much about it until now, but I'm sure he's been having his legal team trying to work on this. I didn't realize that man was only 72. I swear he looked so much older than that. Okay, 72 in the grand scheme of things is not really that old. I mean, he probably was going to die in jail if he did live, you know, if he did do the whole entire 23 years. But if he were to get out now, 72 years old, he can still, you know, he could live potentially 85, 90 years old, you know. So I'm sure he still wants to get his ass out of jail. You know, what's crazy about it is, you know, nobody needs to forget that Harvey Weinstein had actually apologized for cutting up and being like a tyrant out there in them Hollywood streets back in the day. You know, he actually apologized for that. But then when it was looking like the people was actually going to start pressing charges and filing paperwork and all of this, you know, then was when he said that he was innocent and that all of the sex acts were consensual. Now, what was you apologizing for then? What was you apologizing for? If everybody was on the same page and wanted to do it, then what you was apologizing for? Harvey, we get out our face with this. Get out our face, child. We'll see what happens with that second case. I'm sure that it will be a second case. They not going to just drop this. And then lastly, you guys, Reggie Bush. Congratulations are in order to Reggie Bush. They're saying that they are going to return his Heisman Trophy that he won back when he was a football player at USC. He went to USC, right? I believe it was USC. When he was a football player at USC, they had removed the Heisman Trophy from him, which is like the big honor, you know, the big honor that they give to one football player. It's usually what, the running back, or is it the child? Don't give me the lion. I don't know. But anyway, I do know that the Heisman Trophy is a big deal, and it usually is the thing that, you know, usually the Heisman Trophy winner goes on to have a very celebrated career in the NFL and all that. It was just like them pinpointing, like, this is the person to watch. It was removed for him because they said that back when he was in school that he was receiving monetary gifts and other things that advanced him or helped him financially, and those were strictly against like NCAA rules or college athlete rules, not just for football players but for all college athletes. And you know, we've talked about this many times on this channel. I've never felt like it was fair that these kids, these college kids, many of them who are already coming from maybe not poverty, but they ain't really got that much, you know, and they're in these schools, these big Pac-10, is that the word? You know, these big, huge, expensive ass schools, you know, that put so much money into their athletic sports programs, and these students get in there and they make millions and millions of dollars for these schools, and yet and still these kids ain't getting nothing. Okay, it almost got to the point where it was looking like the kids was getting pimped. All right, we remember seeing that documentary when they were talking about the kids that, I think it was even Allen Iverson. Was it Allen Iverson? It was like, no, it wasn't Allen Iverson, I'm sorry, but there was a documentary that was going around back in the day, and it was talking about how the kids were not getting any money. I mean, these kids were broke, you know, not having money to eat and all this. Yeah, they might possibly should have been eating on campus or something, but other than that, it was just like had no spending money, no kind of nothing. Yet and still, you got these schools making $1 million. The shit has never been fair. Them kids should have always been able to make money, and they just finally signed that into law just in the last few years, you guys, that now these kids can get these deals and they can start making money. And that's why now you see these college athletes, and they got brand deals, and they wearing designer stuff, and they driving nice cars and looking good and all that. Is because finally it was opened up to everybody. It just never made sense that, you know, these kids were penalized if they did indeed accept money or gifts or favor or whatever. And since Reggie Bush was one of those ones that were considered that, they took the trophy. Now that all that has been lifted, you know what? They decided that they're going to give him his Heisman Trophy back. And he's happy about it. And I'm happy for him, because it's just, it was never right. It was never fair to begin with. Okay. And especially now, these kids these kids is making millions. Everybody is going on and on about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Angel Reese is going to do fine. Somebody going to snatch her up as well, you guys. But you got to understand, I mean, we already talked about the talent of Caitlin Clark and all of that. It doesn't always have to be a black and white issue. Social media would have you, there goes that social, I was trying not to say it today, you guys, but social media will have you to think that everything is black and white. And sometimes it's just business, okay? And like I said, Angel Reese will also get hers. She's going to be just fine. Caitlin Clark is obviously going to be fine as well, you guys. So let's not look at it that way. But anyway, what I'm saying is, yeah, these girls, I mean, even if they don't make a whole bunch of money in the WNBA, they gonna make a whole bunch of money on the deals, on the brand deals and all the other outside stuff. And I'm happy for them. But I'm even happier for the college kids too. Okay? Because Leslie, it's enough of this fucking pie for everybody to go around. Let everybody get a slice. But anyway, I got off topic. Congratulations back to Reggie Bush, that he will be having his Heisman Trophy. I'm assuming that they're probably going to give him some kind of sort of ceremony or something. Maybe it might be at the, well, it ain't no Super Bowl for no time. Maybe it'll be at the first opening game of the season. I should have asked my brother, you guys. Anyway, that's that on that. All right, you guys, that's it. I'm going to get on off of here. We do this every single week, Tuesdays and Fridays. So make sure to thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, Roxstars.